Okay, hello everyone. I'm Tony, and I'm also from桃園市青埔Junior High School. And I'm here to share with you my experience of application of the inquiry-based learning in junior high school English teacher. Well, inquiry-based learning? No, don't tell me about that. Maybe some teacher will tell me about that because I don't have time. My students don't have time for those research. But do you know that actually inquiry-based learning actually could be compatible with the textbook and could be compatible with the test preparation? Well, I think that some of you, the picture may show up in some of your mind because actually it's possible. Okay, but before I tell you how, I'd like you to think. What would you do if your students are passive in learning and have low learning proficiency, no interest in textbook, and are tired of your lecture, and are bombarded with tests and low thinking level activities? Well, before you tell me the answer, let's watch a video, and it may give you some inspiring ideas about those questions. Video is shot in my own class. It's a ninth grade class with 29 students, half boys and half girls. And it's a heterogeneous class with high achievers, intermediate learners, and struggling learners. And the students, they are cooperative and collaborative, but they are passive in learning. And they used to learn in a test and textbook-oriented class. But now they are experiencing a brand new English learning experience because their teacher just came back from Canada, the SFU program. So they have to say thank you to NTNU and SFU. So now they hold a different attitude toward English learning now. Okay, so and during the past 3 months, the students mainly use the worksheet and textbook and the smart classroom high-tech as the learning tools to explore the core questions of the 5 units. The core questions are how to tell the fortune, what is weird food, how does technology help people, and how to make a good choice, and who are big-hearted people. Lesson 7 is the latest 7, just the unit that I show in the video. Yes, and all the teaching units are designed based on the backward design, inquiry-based learning, Bloom's taxonomy, gradual release model, and active learning. And the goal is to develop my students into autonomous learners and to boost their interest in textbook, and also hope they can do high-level thinking. And so, action plan was launched to carry out these goals, okay? And each teaching unit, the teaching design was modified after each teaching unit based on the students' feedback and teachers' reflection, okay? And so, but since it's the modified version, so the inquiry-based learning in my class is not a full form because of the limitation of the time and also the pressure of the test. So I tried to make some modification to adapt to my class for the 9th grade class. I tried to use the textbook as the referential resource for my students to do the inquiry, and also as a tool for the students to go through the inquiry process, learning process, and also to practice their inquiry skills, like soft skills like scheme or inference skills. Okay, so actually inquiry-based learning and English textbook can be good friends, okay? Okay, so, and as you can know that from the video, inquiry-based learning has flipped my class. So I'd like to share with you some of the activities that I've done to go through these 5 steps. Okay, so the first step is ask. In this step, the students will, questions will be used to trigger students' interest in the core idea and also to trigger their inquiries about the core topic. And some activities are used like the pictures, question list, videos, KWL chart, and gallery walk and class brainstorming textbook, the dialogue and reading, and also think along are used for students to figure out the inquiries. And then the second step is investigate. In this step, students will start to search for information to answer their inquiries. And since that in my action plan, I use the textbook as the main referential resource. So the students, they will listen to the dialogue and do the reading first to find out the answers to the inquiry and to fulfill part of the inquiry task. And then the students will be offered iPad and class computer to check the internet for further information. And then after all this individual work, the students, they are encouraged to do to work with groups or with peers to do further research. Yes. Okay. And then after the research, the students start to create. In this step, I have the students to apply the genre of the textbook dialogue and reading to talk about and write about their findings, about their inquiry. Okay, for example, I use the gossip activity that we learned in SFU for students to talk about the weird food topic with non-classes. And then I have the students to apply the patterns of the dialogue to make an interview about technology. They have to write a script and then they role play an interview by themselves. And also, I have the students to use the genre of the reading to make a postcard to our classmates with a big heart. And then also the reading genre for students to write a suggestion letter to their peers' dilemma. Okay, and then move on to the fourth step is the discuss. In this step, the students, they will have to show their learning product and their learning process about their inquiry test by maybe I have them to use posters and also mind maps and also oral presentation and also some written report about the fortune telling ways. Okay, and then the last step is the reflect. The students in this step, they will use what they have learned to reflect about their own life. So in lesson 7, the students, they reflect themselves if they are a person of with a big heart. Yes, and also in this step, they have to reflect about their learning and their learning process and product. So class feedback survey was designed for them to review their own learning. The first part of the feedback survey is about the class activities related to active learning. And the second part, the open questions, is for students to reflect about their own learning and also give feedback to me and the class. Okay, and from their feedback, we can see that the students like this kind of learning style, the learning activities very much. And they also think that they should participate more, they should talk more, interact more, something like that. Yes. So I think that this really boosts their motivation to speak English, to use English. Yes. And from the survey, the first part of the survey, we can find that all the students think that this kind of IB class can really cater to the 7 principles of the active learning. And only among the 7 principles, only complex and reflective principles get the last 5 points from the students, because I think it's because I didn't fully apply these 2 principles in my class, because the time limitation and the students' proficiency, and actually they don't really have time to do further research. But of course I would try to make this work in the future. Yes. Okay, and then, so from this action research, we can know that I can know that inquiry-based learning in my class can enhance my students' active learning and activate my students' learning motivation toward textbook, and enhance the students' cognitive skills in Bloom's taxonomy. And the backward design and gradual release model can help me to design a student-centered class. Okay, and in the end, I'd like to say thank you to NTNU and also SFU. I'm so lucky to have this chance to experience the true spirit of the respect for diversity. And I've been thinking about to incorporate this spirit into my class. And I think the first step is that I have to apply different teaching designs and issues in my class, because in this way I will be able to meet different students' needs, to ignite the students' passion for learning, and to help them discover their potential and develop their self-awareness. But of course, this is not easy. So I think the first step I should do is that I have to keep my passion for learning all the time, because learning can lead us to step out of the comfort zone and achieve the higher level of education. So that's my presentation. Thank you.